From the subreddit TooAfraidToAsk. Isn't touching/hurting someone's nuts sexual harassment? I see movies and series showing as if the female lead is becoming more stronger and badass as she kicks or grabs someone's nuts, and it is always shown as a comedy scene, whereas it should be sexual assault. Why? But everyone thinks it is pretty sassy or cool to hurt someone by the balls. But I don't think so. And I just wanted to know what you guys think about it. Why isn't it considered sexual assault? Why do movies glorify it so much? And is it actually okay to hurt someone's nuts without consent? Sex assault against men has traditionally been laughed at, especially in media. You are right, it would be an assault or sexual assaults charge in real life, assuming the police apply the law correctly or that the man isn't laughed at when he reports it. I could only answer based on UK law, which states: a person, A, commits an offence if A, he intentionally touches another person, B, the touching is sexual, C, B does not consent to the touching, and D, it does not reasonably believe that B consents. This doesn't have to be contact with a sexual organ, and cannot be accidental. The key point being, B, the touching is sexual. Basically, if you assault someone by kicking them in the dick or punching them in the tit, but your intent was simply to cause harm, and was not intended for sexual gratification, then it does not meet the points to prove a sexual assault. However, if you approach a person in the street and say, "I want you to suck my dick," and then take hold of their wrist or ponytail or ankle or any part of their body including a sexual organ, that could absolutely meet the points to prove a sexual assault. It's all about intent. A woman in Portsmouth, UK was convicted of sexual assault on a guy. Was cornered by a girl my age in grade 1. She backed me into the corner and grabbed my dick. Not fun. Or funny. I wouldn't say a nut shot is sexual harassment, but battery is never funny. It's battery. It's not some big statement on the empowerment of women, it's battery. Yes and no. Touching/grabbing someone's genitals without consent is absolutely sexual assault. Hurting someone by kicking them in nuts is not, it's battery. It's equivalent to punching someone in the face. Either way, it's not something to be made light of, but unfortunately it does happen a lot in media. Greater than, is it actually okay to hurt someone's nuts without consent? What do you think? Please don't apply what you see in movies and TV shows to real life. Greater than, and is it actually okay to hurt someone's nuts without consent? Lamau up. Do you have nuts? What do you think? As a female and mother of 2 boys, I never found this funny. I agree with you 100%, this should be considered sexual assault. Edit, sexual assault. Kicked in the nuts? No, that's just regular assault, if unprovoked. Same as if a woman attacked you with a knife or something and you happen to kick her in the groin or punch her in the boob while defending yourself, nobody sane would consider that sexual assault because there is clearly no sexual intent behind it. Though that reverse scenario would never be portrayed comedically in most media, of course, so it's a slightly dehumanizing double standard to be sure. Non-consensually grabbing the balls or dick though, outside of an intense self-defense scenario in which the woman does so in a violent manner to harm her attacker, would absolutely be sexual assault. I would agree. It's also incredibly dangerous. I worked at a bar in my dorm and got punched in the groin by the bartender's brother as a joke. Well, it severed something in his testicles and they swelled up to the size of a grapefruit. He had no insurance and only worked part-time. Had to have surgery and was out of work for months. The guy who did it never apologized even. We had to hold a fundraiser for our doorman. It was a horrific situation. If it's a woman just groping a man to show she is strong, it's disgusting, inappropriate, and definitely sexual assault. Women assaulting men is just as bad as men assaulting women and should be treated as such. If she is doing it to get the man to stop grabbing/hurting her, it's self-defense and the cojones in question had it coming. I don't think it would be considered sexual assault, but it definitely is assault, and it's definitely not funny, and it definitely should not be glorified the way it is. It's certainly a great self-defense technique but should never be employed for any other reason. Not only is it excruciatingly painful, but it can also cause permanent damage and cause people to not be able to have kids. It's a slim chance, but it is possible, and that isn't funny to me. At the very least, it's a dick move. It's not sexual assault because the purpose of a groin kick isn't to humiliate someone or sexually coerce them, it's to hurt them. So if you punch someone's breast, it's not really sexual assault unless they added a sexual element to it. Of course, if someone grabs and fondles your groin to humiliate you, then it's definitely sexual assault. No, it's not sexual assault. It is assault. In means of hurting the other one most and hitting them in their most vulnerable spot. It's easy as that. But no, it's not sexual assault just because it is a genital. If you are in the middle of fighting, nuts are fair game. Any other situations, yes, it's sexual assault/battery. What if you punch a time-traveling Hitler in the nuts, is it okay then? Touching like groping, yes. Hurting inherently no, cause that can be accidental. Aiming for someone's nuts, I wouldn't call it sexual harassment inherently either, cause it's not done intended to be sexual, it was intended to inflict pain. It's assault, but there's nothing sexual in it. Sexual assault is an act in which one intentionally sexually touches another person without that person's consent, or coerces or physically forces a person to engage in a sexual act against their will. 1. It is a form of sexual violence, which includes child sexual abuse, groping, rape, forced vaginal, anal, or oral penetration, or a drug-facilitated sexual assault, or the torture of the person in a sexual manner, defined by Wiki. A kick to the groin is not a grope. It's not rape. It's not a sexual act at all. If someone punched me in the boob, I'm not screaming sexual harassment. I'm screaming sexual harassment when someone gropes me with the sole purpose of touching me. Some certain guy held a woman by the pussy and became a president. Sexual assault is for sexual gratification usually, so this is closer to physical assault of sensitive, what happen to be sexual, organs. This makes it worse in my eyes though than regular assault. Well, it's certainly not polite. This is not sarcasm, I don't intend to hurt someone, but I think we ourselves would just know by our common sense if it is sexual assault or just an intent to hurt. 1. Seems like you're mainly talking about movies. 2. Movie logic is a nerfed version of reality where events bends to fit a narrative. 3. Nut punches are a quick equalizer to size differences. 4. Movies would be very dull if vigilante justice ended with the vigilante in jail and the cop they dick punched is on paid leave for shooting back. Do you have any examples? Not a lawyer, but no, it's not okay to hurt someone's nuts without consent. Duh. And #X200B. I'm not sure what movies you're talking about specifically, but the times I've seen this situation it's at least been in perceived self-defense. Like that really contrived anime trope of falling and landing on her boobs. But otherwise, yeah, it's a double standard that annoys me too. Like rape and other abuse of men being played for comedy, it's shitty. It could definitely be assault, but not usually sexual assault. Generally nothing about it on either side is in any way sexual. It's just a very sensitive area and easy to gain control over someone and win a physical fight that way. Of course, someone grabbing a man by the balls, unprovoked, is sexual assault. If I recall correctly, in movie scenes where women grab men by their balls are usually scenes where the man is making inappropriate physical advances, so it could be considered self-defense. In which case, it's not sexual assault. It's self-defense. Yes, however, most scenes I've ever seen this in have been in self-defense. So nut kicking and ball grabbing become fair game. Fine if she's defending herself, not fine out of nowhere with a guy minding his business. It's certainly assault, but I don't know that it's sexual assault. It's to a genital area but not with sexual intent like rape is. Greater than why isn't it considered sexual assault? It is. Greater than why do movies glorify it so much? Movies are fiction, and often don't display real-world consequences. Greater than, and is it actually okay to hurt someone's nuts without consent? No. There's nothing sexual about the pain you feel getting kicked in the nuts. For most people, it can be assault. My work classified that as sexual assault and can be reported as so to HR. Unwanted touching is sexual harassment. Non-consenting hurting is assault. Simple as that. All other are double standards and ignorance. I've seen movies where guys grab women's asses and people laugh. Movies take things as jokes that are sexual assault or even just plain assault. If you are in a situation where you are scared for your life, it is okay to attack someone in any way you think will work. Anything else, it's not okay without consent. What media are you watching where that happens? I literally can't come up with a single movie or TV show where that happens, except in self-defense. I think sexual assault is more for when it's done for pleasure. Just a punch to the nuts to inflict pain and consider regular assault.